What's happening, man? I don't think I'm gonna stop doing that ever. Uh, so I'm gonna get back into stuff I was talking about earlier, but I heard about something that was happening, and I wasn't sure if it was real or not. So I went and looked for it, and there is a Google update that's gonna happen in February, and it pretty plainly says that Google is now in control, and we already knew this kinda, but Google is now gonna be in control of most information that you receive. So if I say something that Google deems to be dangerous, very, open-ended term, they can at the very least take it down from anything that Google is associated with. So not just YouTube. Anything that Google is associated with, they can take the search result down so that you can't, if it's on a different app or something that's not directly tied to Google, it can take it off of the search results. And this applies to a whole bunch of shit. Usually, I just tell you about a thing. That's why I say one of the names that I have is Gamma Appleseed. And it's because I'll tell you about some shit, but I'm not going to tell you everything about it, and I'm not going to tell you specifically where to go find it unless it's difficult or unless it's, objective. I talk about a lot of subjective shit, speaking objectively. But this is not subjective at all. It's objective. February 2024. Smoothie. It's got my medicine in it. It's got zeolite and other turmeric and pineapple. Spike protein detox. This is bad. If I don't really think I need to say why, but it specifically talks about if you say some shit about some future events that Google doesn't like, you're hit. Which, that's what a lot of truth platforms do. We go read shit that people don't usually want to read, and then we tell y'all about it. So you could argue that trying to keep you from hearing about some shit that might be happening in the moment, because systematically news stations have been phased out, and we all thought like, yeah, good riddance, blah 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 blah, which I'm not saying that's a better option, because it's really not. That shit is controlled too. I mean, the epitome of an example of that is that clip, one of my favorite clips ever, from the bioweapon times. Starts off with one news station, shows another news station saying the same thing. Then it shows two of them saying the same thing at the same time. 4, 6, 8. A screen full of them. So, I mean, was that really better? Did the news really ever matter like that? Or was it kind of always like this? I keep finding myself wondering that. Like, I talked about clouds recently because of the other bioweapon that just got banned from its second state. Good job. Good job. I can't remember if it was North Dakota or Nebraska. I feel like, no, it was New Hampshire. Good job, New Hampshire. So I was talking about clouds and not specifically in that video. I was using the example of the cloud machine. They have cloud factories. Not easy to find, but I found a video of a dude who was working at a cloud factory at the time that he was like at work. So he's at work. Like, this is the cloud factory I work at. There's also another, like, more accessible one of a kind of Britishy news guy that's at a NASA plant, so a NASA cloud factory. But theirs is for, I think, for rain, so like HARP type weather manipulation shit. If you haven't noticed, this hasn't changed anything. I'm gonna say, I say whatever the fuck I want. I'm gonna keep saying the stuff that I need to say. I made a Rumble account today. Haven't put any videos up, but just preparation. Yeah. Preparation. That sucks, man. That sucks. But I mean, if anything, this is a fairly good example of why I talk the way I talk. Because this civilization has a habit of, like, not paying attention to a thing until it's too late. Until it's like, well, fuck, we're gonna blow up in an hour. Any ideas? And that's stupid. That's dumb. And it's not that we don't have access to each other. We have more access to each other than we did when we were more proactive and active. We used to get active, bruh. We used to get active, bruh. I mean, you could say 2020 happened, but that was a bunch of manipulation. Y'all went out there and acted a fool over some stupid shit. You know? And what I mean by that is the reasoning for it wasn't stupid, but y'all did it to go steal some shit. We didn't do nothing. Nothing happened. It just, it keeps going. It keeps going. And I feel like there's an onset of psychosis. There's an onset of psychosis that is natural, delusions and shit like that. When you start to see things that make you uncomfortable, once it hits a certain extent, you start to hit a fork in the road where you can either, get hype and prepare yourself and fight figuratively and literally, or you wither into the deepest corner of space within you, and you start to weave and create falsities and delusions of grandeur and hallucinations that make you feel better about the thing that you're actually doing nothing to address. And it seems like, as a civilization, that is what has been unconsciously chosen. Everyone's talking about collective consciousness and all this shit. One of the reasons I don't like that concept, collective consciousness, it's not just because I see a very distinct difference in many beings that are walking around. It's not just that. It's that most of the beings that I see are pusillanimous. You have not been through adversity, and you have no interest in going through adversity. And I get that. Nobody wants to go through that. But at the same time, you do have an adversary with a vast, array of resources and an army. And rather than seeing that and saying, you know what, I can't do anything about this by myself, I'm a click up. I'm a click up with all these other beings that are being put through the same shit as me. Everyone just sticks their head in the sand. And this isn't an ego driven statement. It's just fact. You couldn't be me. We can't be the same consciousness. And I'm the first to talk about aspects of the self, emanations of the self. I don't feel any part of that in me. And I feel connected to many, many beings, but they're not pusillanimous beings. You know? So this collective consciousness stuff, especially the iterations of it where it's like every single being that you see is a part of you, I reject that, bruh. That's not true for me. It can be true for you, and you can make your own truth. You can make that be true for you. But you can't make that my existence or my reality. Because it just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit the present that I see. It doesn't fit the future that I see. It doesn't fit the past moments that I see. So, you know, I talk a lot about, being able to live and let live and letting other beings believe in what they believe in. And I do very much believe that. But at the same time, what good is that if we're all being victimized? In the near future, what good will that do? What will that matter if we're all getting fucked? Right? None. What good would all of this proposing and posturing and ego offs? I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit. And philosophy. All these things that I'm interested in, but I can also acknowledge and admit when it's time out for those things. And you need to apply all of these things that have had so much talk. You know? They're not even afraid to do these things anymore. These niggas had a tunnel in front of everybody. They didn't even look the least bit scared when they got caught. They were fighting cops. Look at all the rap. And just, you know what, fuck that. Look at all the people that are like, there's the rap stuff, F12 and all that shit. Then there's the take my gun over my cold dead body 2A people. Wonder what's up with y'all. For one, y'all fight. You don't get along for dumb reasons, really stupid reasons, like how much difference you see in your pigment. Ridiculous. And then also, both of y'all look pussed out. You the main ones talking about fuck them and, basically trying to establish your sovereignty, but you don't do shit. You don't do shit. And I would think y'all would be the main ones doing something. Not saying that you should do something right now, but you're definitely not ready. Like, there's no organization there. Even amongst your separate groups, there's no organization. You can pretend it. I'm more talking to the 2A people, because to be honest, just being honest, between the two, I definitely see the the clans, the gangs being able to mobilize in a somewhat organized fashion way more than the 2A, sticklers to the Constitution gun havers. Because, I mean, there's no organization there. And even the ones that are organized, y'all are hate groups. That's not that's not real organization for the cause of all. Y'all would turn your pieces on people that are going through the same shit as you. Like this is a video game. I know you would. You know you would too. Matter of fact, they know you would. That's why they put that shit in that stupid ass Civil War movie, because they already know you're itching to see that portrayed so that you can feel like it's okay to do. They know that, and you do too. It still doesn't have to be that way, but you'll do it. You'll do it. But hey, even still, I told somebody earlier today, I feel like I'm screaming into a triple dark void, trying to get these truths and messages out. But I like screaming. I used to do it in my music. I wonder, Rumble kind of looks like it sucks. It seems like they are listening to people's input on fixing the app, but I am not looking forward to that. That looks frustrating. I went to see what uploading a video is like. It only takes the ones that you I guess that's alright. It only takes the ones that you have on your phone. If you're using a phone, that is. I guess that's my fault, kinda. I mean, who's not using a phone sometimes? But I keep my stuff, in a different spot. Couldn't access it. Whatever, though, do what you gotta do. I do think it's going that direction, man. I do like the amount of innovation and intuitive, user interface, UIX, user interface experience. But I mean, if you make this into just like a fake thing, once you do this and you start chomping people like they were doing in 2020, what is the purpose of that other than to control minds? And I won't be a part of that. Because what the fuck am I going to talk about? Go watch the rest of my videos and tell me that I have anything that'll be left on the app after that. That's the whole point of why I started doing this in the first place. I mean, I'm going to keep doing it until they do it. But that's lame, bro. February 2024. In fact, I'm going to have it in the description. You can just go click it or copy it or whatever. And I think I put it on my community page too. I don't remember, but I will. It's very Orwellian. 1984. Fahrenheit 451. If you don't know of that book, they even made it into a couple movies. They made some iterations of that. Go watch that, and you'll see what. Wait, Fahrenheit 451. Equilibrium, another good one. Man, there's another one that I can't remember. The Giver is a good one. I mean, obviously, there's the Mockingjay stuff. What was that called? You can see how much I care about that one. That one's indoctrination, so fuck that one. there's plenty of renditions of them telling you, hey, we're gonna do this, bro. Definitely gonna do this. And this seems like the most clear and tangible, example of like getting that going. No, well, I mean, when they hit up the Patriot Act, that was really when everyone was like, "Oh fuck." Everyone was like, "Never forget," and they were like, "Yeah, keep not forgetting. Look that way. Look back there while we're up here doing this bullshit, bruh." Yeah. Yep. Meanwhile, I mean, honestly, I was gonna talk about other stuff, but this just really bummed me out. Bummed me right the fuck out. It's not so much that they're doing it, it's that y'all, and when I say y'all, I know you think, you watching the video, you think I'm talking about you. I'm not really talking about you specifically. A collective y'all. Society, civilization. That's all that matters when it comes down to it. What you think by yourself means nothing. What we do and think as a community, as a civilization, society, that's what matters. And that, y'all, ain't gonna do nothing. Not gonna do shit. And you know what? Even I've thought about this many times. Even if some folks decided that they were gonna fucking stand up, as soon as others come forward and they're like, "Yeah, I'm fucking ready to fight too," but they maybe don't have guns or something for one reason or another, you'll look at them and be like, "Well, why didn't you buy guns? I'm not giving you a gun." This we're It's hopeless. They've done such a good job of brainwashing the generations into brainwashing the next generations. It's just greed and selfishness and, self interest and severe cognitive dissonance while also having delusions of grandeur, which is weird. How do you have both of those things at the same time? Dude, listening to. I'm so. I'm not picking on people, but I am at the same time though, because these are the ones that get pushed by the algorithm, and they are self-congratulatory after this, not realizing that there is a reason that you're getting helped by the it's because you suck. It's because you suck that you're getting helped by that algorithm. If you were talking some real shit, you could be likable. You could look like fucking Jonathan Majors, or what's a you could look like Brad Pitt or Matthew McConaughey or a younger iteration of those dudes. Though I don't think those exist. Do those types of actors exist now? I don't think so. Well, you got like Zac Efron. That's not the same. That's not the same caliber. No disrespect. That dude seems like he's a cool guy. But you know Zach. You know what I mean. You're not fucking McConaughey, bro, or Brad Pitt. Uh, yeah, those are gone. I mean, honestly, nah. Jonathan Majors is that nigga. That's the cool. There's some actors I just don't fucking know them, and honestly, that's the same thing as that algorithm shit. This is all so tailored and scripted that I can't understand how everyone doesn't see how formulaic and fake it is. It's not organic at all. The things that you think are picked and pushed to the forefront because they're good is not necessarily true. Now, does it happen that things come to the forefront that are good? Yes, absolutely. But that's just in the interest of, keeping it looking good, and also money. You have enough money, you can build up to making things better. Go look at the first Marvel movies. Hey, go look at the first Marvel movies. And then compare those to the masterful shit they do now. Sometimes Echo sucks. But that's, that started off good. It started off good, actually. That scene where they show the fall, really cool. And then downhill from there, like badly. I'm listening to this dude, and I talked about it a little bit earlier. And like I said, it's not in the interest of picking on. It's just you want to push your shit on people again after the fucking Crusades, which that's not deniable like a lot of history is. You did that. You definitely did do that. You manipulated the calendar. People faked different pseudonyms to like create religious texts and all kinds. Like, y'all are collectively, you're a bad bunch. You know what I mean? You're a fucking bad bunch. It's all the apples in that bunch. There's like, speaking mathematically and in a representation format, let's say that there are, 100 apples. There's like 2 apples that are not bad in that bunch for every 100 apples. It's terrible. It's not good. And I say that with the meaning, because there are a lot of Christians that don't go to church. They don't even really read the Bible. They're just like, you know what? I do believe in God, and me and him have a personal relationship. I like those Christians. But, I never used to like the term Bible thumper. And I mean that with all of the Abrahamic religions. I'm not just talking about Christians. I'm talking about the rest, too. You thought you got me. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. Yeah, when you start to try to force those things on people, it shows how much you suck. There's something psychologically in the back of your mind that's like, I know I suck, but I need people to tell me that I don't suck. So I'm going to get them into what I'm into so that they can congratulate me and tell me that I'm such a great person. That's what I think a big part of it is. Aside from that, there's some archonic shit going on there too. I don't fully understand it, but look at the fucking Vatican. And I think maybe it's just a big cover-up to eat people and do weirdo shit with each other. Because they have all of the money that supposedly disappeared from Rome. Where do you think that went? Roman Catholic Church? Just saying. And then when you look at the hierarchy, Roman Catholic Church, aka Vatican, the United Kingdom's throne, monarchs, and then the experiment of the annexed United States of America, aka little UK, annexed UK. It's just Rome. It really is just Rome. The Romans, I talk about this tactic a lot, where you win and then you make yourself disappear. I think that deities do it. I think that Rome did it. I think the ex-Canaanites, who are secretly still Canaanites, who some say worship Saturn, but more so it's the cube. It's not Saturn itself. It's the cube. It's not the entire... It's Kronos. It's the cube. Um, Same guy. Kronos, El, Jehovah, Yahweh. Same dude. Bad, bad guy. Not a good guy. That's why they do the things they do, and say the things they say, and spit at people when they walk by them. They're not nice beings, but if you speak about them outright, uh, watch out, right? I guess I'll be on Rumble soon, huh? Anyway, listening to this dude talk, and the condescension. The condescension was wild, with such a lack of capability to explain the reasons why you're correct, and the reasons why everyone needs to follow your religion. It's wild. It's very weird, because it's like, others don't really have this thing where they need to assimilate people. Like, they're welcoming. Some of them are not welcoming. They're welcoming, but they don't try to go on decimation campaigns where it's like assimilate or die, or assimilate or become slaves. Others don't really do that. And then you have some that are so popular with people because it's not a religion. It's a spiritual practice. Like Buddhism is so popular because they don't force people to do shit. It really is not a religion. It's such a peaceful thing. Some people kind of shit in it a little bit by being hipster douchebags. But for the most part, that's such a peaceful thing. Taoism, Buddhism, if you were so correct, people would come to you. You wouldn't need to kill and maim and torture and enslave people into your belief system. You wouldn't need to take leaps and bounds within very, very heavily edited and censored text to get your point across or to show people your truth. I talked earlier about hate watching or hate listening. I don't think that's what I'm doing. The more I think about it, I think I'm actually just amazed. I'm in awe. It's like I'm standing in the room during a cult meeting, but they can't see me. I think that actually is what it is. That's wild. I was trying to make a joke, kind of, but it's not a joke. That's seriously what it is. And it is very, very fucking disturbing. But to be fair, and I'll always try my best to be fair, the spiritual community is kind of starting to look the same way, dude. Which is usually how it works. The opposing sides are usually the same thing by another name, thinking that they're so different, which I think is like a cosmic joke, which I find to be fucking hilarious, actually. I think that shit's really funny. Republican, Democrat, spiritualist, conscious community, whatever you want to call it, Christian, Abrahamic religions, you're all the same. That's why I keep saying this isn't real. This is not real. And it what makes it the most evident is watching all of those groups thinking that it's real while sounding exactly alike. That's some of the weirdest shit I think I've ever seen outside of my life. Speaking, you know, so without speaking on the without. Man, the Hermetic principles are cool. Um, you know, it's like I see a mass brainwashing, and the thing that makes it genius about it is that everyone thinks that theirs is different. I had a hard time conveying it earlier, but I was talking about how I've seen a few scientists, academic scientists, not self proclaimed like myself, uh, but academic scientists who sound just as dogmatic with this spiritual shit, the occult shit, as the same Christians that they used to make fun of. And like speaking from a place of assuredness, from knowing, like this dude kept saying reincarnation is real. And you know how I am, like I'm not saying I don't believe in reincarnation. I just, for one, don't think it's a good thing. I think it's a forced shitty thing that is a part of a farm. But that's just me. And I can say that I believe that, and then I can also say, but that doesn't make it true, though. That's just what I believe from what I have experienced and seen and researched, so on. That's what I believe. This dude was speaking unscientifically. Like, he literally said, reincarnation is real. That's undebatable. A scientist said that. Like a mainstream academic scientist said that. Like, psychosis is setting in, and it's very, very subtle, and it's very quiet, and no one's really paying too close attention. But if they are paying attention, it's like entertainment to them. All you have to do is put a camera on it. You know what I mean? And and the beings are like, oh, but that's not real anymore because they're filming. Nope, it's still real. People are watching the craziest shit just because it came from a phone. Like watching people die on live streams. I've heard people say they did that. It, one thing I do agree with that the Abrahamic people say right now, this is Sodom and Gomorrah. It's not as bad as they, portray it in the Bible, but the Bible's full of lies. What if Sodom and Gomorrah was just fucking like this? What if it was just like this? And that's why they didn't stop. What if that's why they didn't stop? Because they didn't know. They didn't know how bad it was. But there were dudes on their little soapboxes yelling, "This is the end." I'm watching the end slowly pass by me. Slow motion. You know? Because it surely feels like that. And to an extent, even I can admit that much of my feeling comes from things that I only have the very same clips and articles and shit that everyone else has, but I do also take the extra steps to like find redundancy in a story or a push narrative, or go and read patents, search out people talking about patents or new technologies, or and then I try to link all this shit up, and I usually don't have too much of a problem. And so I say this very often, even if the thing is not true, why is it being pushed to you in that way? That still is, an issue. That's still something to be concerned about. I mean, arguably equally concerned about. Because if it's not real, then why are you making it up and spending money and making us believe this shit is real? Like, that's still concerning. That's why I don't fuck with NASA. That's why I talk shit to NASA. Well, if they're faking everything, well, why do you give a fuck? Because then why? What the fuck are you lying for? What do you actually know, and what are you lying for? That's weird. To spend that much taxpayer money on bullshit that's not real. What is that? What the fuck is that? And to have clues from very high up people within your ranks, like Jack Parsons was like, hey, there's a firmament on his deathbed. Matter of fact, he put it on his tombstone. Like, I'm not going to spill the beans because they'll kill me, but I'll put it on my tombstone. A lot of those affluent, old money or lots of money, high up dudes, when they die, they say the real. They don't tell you the secrets, but they say the real. They're like, oh, I fucked up. I fucked up. And sometimes they're like, this is how I fucked up. Jack Parsons was like, hey, that is a firmament up there. There's no space, nigga. We weren't doing anything with space. We were doing all kinds of other weird shit, though. That's what he was saying, I believe. Otherwise, why put that on your tombstone? To troll you? They didn't troll people back then. That's some new shit. They don't troll people. that was trying to get right with what he thought he was about to deal with. Like, let me fess up to this shit before I leave. You know? So the Abrahamic extremism, the what do I call y'all, man? The cults of extremism. That's what I feel like I have to say. Spiritual movement, conscious movement. I don't know what to call y'all, bro. The cults. the the poly cult. Is that what I call y'all? The poly cult. It's very silly, the stuff y'all are arguing about and trying to push on each other. And to me, honestly, that just seems like some archonic shit. Any us and them shit that isn't directly about all of reality, like the us and them that I'm concerned with, it has nothing to do with the pigment of our skin. It doesn't even. I do believe there are different species in here. One way you can tell that is through blood. I don't even think it's that. I don't care about that. It's legitimately those that run this place and know what it is. They know who we are, each of us. They know what we're capable of. They poison us every day so that we don't reach our full capacity and our full capabilities and sovereignty and royalty. That is who I have a problem with. The rest of y'all, I'm just kind of laughing. I may say something every once in a while just to see what you say back, but I don't give a fuck about that, man. And that dude's people flipped the fuck out in those comments. It was very disturbing. That shit was creepy as fuck, bro. The reason I keep calling it creepy and disturbing and shit is because, like I said, it's like standing in a cult meeting, but they can't see you. So then once I said something and they heard me and all turned to look at me like it was a fucking horror movie, ooh. That shit freaked me the fuck out, bro. They just kept coming. They kept coming and kept saying weird shit, quoting paragraphs of fucking, like, they'll say a few sentences of their own and then just paragraphs of fucking scripture. And I'm like, oh, y'all are sick. This is a group of sick people. Which made me sad. That is also very sad, to be honest. That made me very sad. And they're kind of being taken advantage of and picked on and shit. Fuck. What the fuck is this place? This is turning into... The last few videos have been blogs. I'm a fucking blogger guy. I'm a vloggy. I'm not. Just, you know, I am a being that is living here in this experience and noticing stuff, dealing with stuff. And this shit is concerning to me, and it bothers me, and you know, evokes emotions. But I am working on some stuff though that isn't this. I'm working on stuff that isn't this directly, because I mean the channel itself is about me noticing that this is all fabrication and trying to show you evidence of that through philosophy, through psychology, through anthropology, through biology, through microbiology, through thermodynamics, through geoengineering, through, you know, theoretical physics, regular physics, theoricism, everything I possibly can. Because there's examples in all of it. My frustration just bleeds through a lot. That's what pre-games are supposed to be for, but I think this is just the way I talk. Me doing a pre-game just tells you what I'm going to talk about in a little bit. Really doesn't keep me... it does help. It at least shaves off the top. It shaves off the beginning, right? But then, I just talk. And if this is something where you can hear these themes that are being repeated, and in many cases they're being progressed and elevated, and then you still, you know, have an issue with the concept of live and let live, at least that's concerning to me. Very concerning. Because, you know, I'll put up this this link for the update that's going to happen in February. It's Google has put out their entire update. What's going to be in the update? They just haven't implemented it yet. So this isn't a what if they do this. This isn't like a, oh, they're saying they might do this. It's them saying we are about to turn into the Gestapo, essentially. And once we do that, you can say something, but we can take that the fuck down. It's when we say to each other, oh, well, I have my First Amendment right, which arguable already, but you don't. You really don't. You don't have that right. So when you take that to a platform, though, within those terms and conditions, the terms and conditions turn into a Bible. If you were to take all of the updates and then include those with the original terms and conditions of each one of these apps, they all equal a Bible. Especially the long-standing apps, like, you know, the usual ones, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, obviously. Those put together equal into the size of a Bible, because it is one. But it's also a contract, just like the Bible is. You're signing yourself away. You're signing things that are sovereign to you away. Like, you should have the capability of sharing your opinion or views or things that you found publicly. But I mean, it's not to say that terms and conditions didn't make sense to start off with. Because if you didn't have those, then you have niggas jump on there with some supremacy shit or some, you know, depravity or some shit. But this is extreme. That what they're talking about in this update is extreme, and we don't even have that long to potentially fight this decision. Because basically, you can be presenting something as news, and they can say, clipped, we don't like that. And you're hit. No matter what you think. As soon as they say that, you are hit. And that's it. February. I don't know if it's beginning of February or end of February, but I assume it's the beginning of February. So we really don't have long at all. It's what, a couple weeks. That's not even a full month. You know? Was that in a void? Are you in here still? We talked about something earlier that I thought was interesting. Joseph's in here. What's up, Ma? I fuck with everybody that's in here. um, I just, I wonder if there is even the capability to unite. Let's call it that, because I'll keep saying, I'm not trying to mobilize anybody to do any crazy shit, but self-defense is necessary. I'll say it like that. I'm not trying to get anybody to do any kind of offensive type shit, but defense is very necessary. And we're not ready to do that at all. We're not ready to do that at all. And you stand zero chance by yourself. Regardless to all these goofy ass movies that pump everybody's head up to think that they're like, you know, Superman or Venom or, you know, what's the nigga's name that did the snap? These movies got everybody tripping like they're superheroes and shit. And nigga, that's not true yet. That's not true yet. If you really think about it and you apply the concepts and the tactics that are generally used by megaliths and monoliths like this, is false hope. They give you they keep you busy with false hope while they get their shit in, and then they implement. And that's what I was talking about with that Solar Flash Jesus video that I just put out. I wasn't trying to be a dick. I was just saying they give you this false hope, or many different versions of false hope, or many different choices that you can choose from of false hope. And then you fixate on that and give them time to implement and perfect what they're doing. And then by the time you realize, hey, ain't nothing happened yet, it's too late. I kind of sometimes hypothesize that that's why Bobby stopped talking. That's why Bobby stopped teaching. Because he kept saying, any day now, we in there. It's all good. Any day now. That shit never came. Not talking shit on Bobby, because he brought me to you know, heights, for sure. He gave me lots and lots of knowledge. But I think he realized that at some point, because I could hear when he started to realize it too. He was like, y'all keep joining all these fucking goofy ass groups, and who gets arrested? You know? Groups get arrested. But it's only because they're so small, to be honest, and because they're not focused on the right shit. They're focused on like what you're eating and who you're fucking and what deity you believe in and shit. All these things that could just as easily and cohesively cohabitate. Just as easily, you know, just for the sake of argument, an Abrahamic believer could be in this house, and a full-blown devil worshiper could be in this house. And I say devil worshiper specifically because, you know, etymology matters. Satan and Lucifer, y'all are quoting the wrong shit. Those two labels are stupid. Those two labels are stupid. Satan is a misnomer at best, I would say. And Lucifer is just made up. That shit is made up, bruh. It's a mistranslation from one scripture, and they just ran with that shit. Anyway, you know, Mithras. I'm not running through all these gods again. I've done it so many times. Just we're on like a hamster wheel, and we're watching life, and then we fall, and as we fall we hit our head, And when we come back, we don't remember what we were just doing. But we see we're on a hamster wheel. And we see that if we run on this hamster wheel, every now and then we get a little bit of food and a little bit of water. So we start running. And then we do it again. And then we fall again, hit our heads. And then we wake up. And we look around and we're like, what the fuck happened? And we look around and see we're on a hamster wheel. And then we see if we run a little bit. You get what I'm saying? Like, when are we going to step off? When are we going to fucking step off and look around for real? Together, I'll help you off. You can help me off. I'm off. I'm already off, if you can't tell. And there are others that are off, bruh. We should all get off the fucking wheel. We should all get off the wheel. Let's stop participating in this bullshit. We're arguing about the dumbest fucking shit instead of looking around and being like, why the fuck are we arguing with each other? Where are these niggas at that are charging me $5 for a really, really small morsel of food? Why aren't we doing that? Y'all worrying about who's a high value man and an independent woman boss bitch. Like, this shit's so stupid. There's legit arguments over this shit constantly. Whole platforms, niggas making 6-figure incomes off of telling people that they're either worthy or not worthy. And this nigga didn't even start off worthy, bruh. You know? Fresh and fit. Fuck. This nigga told you he was an agent. He talks about it. He's just using semantics and saying he was an FBI agent. He's a different kind of agent now. Shit. I guess today was like rant day, right? Yeah. I can't tell if it's doing that thing with the numbers again. I can't see how many people. I think, is that like a setting on my shit or something? I can't fucking tell. I don't even remember what Void was talking about that made me invite him. Oh, we were talking about the concept of. I said that we aren't the body. I don't remember where that conversation came from though, like why I said that. But we're not. We're not the body. This is technology. This thing. This is technology. Biological it's BioWare. This is a suit. If you think, I really feel bad for atheists. I feel like more bad for atheists than I do with the other religious people, like the super rigid religious people. At least they have something to hold on to. Atheists think we're just gonna die and everything goes black. They'll tell you that proudly. Like, what do you think comes after this? Nothingness. And they're like stoked about that. That's sad, bro. You like that? You like that shit? That's weird. You need therapy, bro. Yeah, I'm really having trouble thinking of anything other than that update. And that's really, and not because I finally, started putting shit on YouTube or because I use Instagram. It's not because of none of that. The implications of that are wild. That is police state shit. That means that's like, they're slowly establishing themselves as Hitler 2.0. And I'm probably going to get hit for saying that one, but I mean, that's what that is, man. You telling people that they can't even report on stuff. They said nothing about people being able to establish themselves as, press. That's supposed to be protected. Your ability to report current events and news, press. They didn't say anything about that. It just said anybody that talks like we don't like, and nigga, your ass is hit, you are clipped. That's wild as fuck. And you know how they do. Ever since, did people pay attention when Oath happened? Do y'all know about Oath? Y'all remember Oath, or do you know of Oath? That was an update. Every app, every platform updated at the same time. And they said it was the Oath. That they were all kind of like banding together. I forgot what they said they were trying to accomplish with this. But they did it. And that's why now, many times when you see these updates happen, they happen in clusters across many apps. Because it's the Oath. It's Oath. In fact, I think it wasn't just a update. It was them saying we are now a conglomerate. Like we're all owned by the same consortium. Anybody remember that? Y'all don't remember that? I do. Because that shit was creepy as fuck. Then I saw a clip. Some truther put it together. Was it Jay Marvelous? Maybe? It might have been Jay Marvelous. Or it was the Dot Connector. I can't remember. I stopped watching the Dot Connector because he's too dogmatic for me. I can't remember. Up TV? I don't remember who it was. But somebody had a clip of a Spider-Man game. It was one of those Into the Spider-Verse, like the Miles Morales shit. No, it wasn't. I can't remember. Maybe it was the open map Spider-Man. I don't remember. It was a video game, and the dude was like, "Are you ready to take the oath?" And I was like, "Oh shit, they are predictive programming this shit. This is real." And then, lo and behold, Oath update. Every app did that shit. I'm talking about streaming platforms did it, search platforms did it, games. Roku did the shit. Like, things that don't seem like they're associated with each other did this update at the same time, within the same like week span of a week, if not less than that. I think the shit was just in a few days. Every time you open something new, it was like, you need to read this and agree to it, or you're done. Until you do. That shit was crazy. This has been slowly coming to fruition since, I want to say 2001, but I feel like it's been before that. Slowly this has been implemented with the patience of a reptile. You feel me? I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't have high hopes. Just being real. You know, I'm not an optimist, I'm a pessimist. And I'm a literal pessimist. I'm not a negative person. I'm not finna sugarcoat shit or talk about happy sprinkles, glitter, and rainbows and shit when everything's on fire. It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why people do that. Lying to yourself and others for comfort. What happens when that goes away? When the thing actually happens and you can't lie to yourself or others anymore? Doesn't it suck more then? That's what it would seem like. Anyway, I think Void's gone. I was going to see if he wanted to hop in here. And this is most of what I can focus on right now. I think I'm just going to go fucking watch movies. You know? Try to forget this shit for a minute. But yeah, I'm going to put the link in the description for this official, notification of seizure of free speech, whatever you want to call that. Reestablishment of the Gestapo. Is that what we want to call it? Yeah, damn. I don't think I have anything else, man. I have not abandoned the Patreon. I'm waiting on this, response to this flagrant and gratuitous fake complaint that was put on the Patreon first video. I have many times said that I don't do this specifically for money, but I am a dad who proudly kicks it with his son instead of sending him to strangers. So I have limited, effort, energy, and time. But if you would like to donate, there is a PayPal in the description of my channel. I think it's Rasta Obsidian. No, I'm not Rastafarian. I think it's Rasta Obsidian. Everything else is Gamma, but I think the PayPal is Rasta Obsidian. So the email, Gamma Obsidian, if you have any questions or, maybe have an idea for something and you want to come on the show, or, of someone who would be good on the show, anything. If you have something email worthy, then get to it. Gamma Obsidian. Gamma AU Obsidian. And then there is the Patreon, same thing, Gamma Obsidian. And the Instagram is the same, Gamma Obsidian. Tunnels? Tunnels?